The 10 highest revving production cars of all time. Engines that love to rev high are one of the many things that make great cars legendary cars. But what's the benefit of a high revving engine? Simply put, horsepower is a function of torque and engine RPM. Increase max RPM or torque, and power goes up. If you have a 2-litre engine, you'll need large amounts of boost in order to make high power figures. On the flip side, simply designing for higher revs means you'll increase the amount of power you make. Torque is not critically important if you make enough power, as you can gear the car appropriately to keep wheel torque competitive. So now that we know a little more about the benefits of high revving engines, let's take a look at some of the world's highest revving production cars of all time. Audi R8 V10 Plus, 8,700 RPM. The 610 horsepower 5.2-litre V10 is able to rev to an astonishing 8,700 RPM. Combined with all-wheel drive traction, the R8 will hit 60 miles an hour in only 2.7 seconds, smashes the quarter mile in 10.6, and has a top speed of 205 miles an hour, making it the fastest road-going Audi ever. Honda Integra Type R, 8,800 RPM. Some versions of Honda's B18C engines were shipped with an incredible 8,800 RPM fuel cutoff point. 20 years ago, this was a huge achievement, and paired with the sublime handling of the Integra, a legend was born. The B18C and the TEG produced 200 horsepower, which was transferred to the front wheels via a close ratio 5-speed manual transmission and a helical LSD. Honda S2000, 9,000 RPM. Continuing the tradition of high-revving, low-displacement engines, the 1999 Honda S2000 hit the car market with an even more bonkers 4-cylinder engine. The F20C produced over 240 horsepower and revved over 9,000 RPM. The engine held the record for producing the highest specific output for a naturally aspirated piston engine until the Ferrari 458 stole its crown some 10 years later. Ferrari LaFerrari, 9,250 RPM. Revving to an obscene 9,250 RPM, the F140 engine is a true work of art. The 6.3-litre V12 is good for 789 horsepower, and combined with a 161 horsepower Kerr system, it makes the 950 horsepower LaFerrari the most powerful Ferrari road car ever made. As for performance figures, well, get a load of this. 0 to 62 in 2.4 seconds, 0 to 124 in less than 7 seconds, 0 to 186 in 15 seconds, and a top speed of 217 miles an hour. But the best bit? The LaFerrari is rear-wheel drive, so balls of steel are needed to drive one fast. Suzuki Cappuccino, 9,300 RPM. This funky little front-engined rear-wheel drive Japanese K-car might have only been 1.4 meters wide, but what it lacked in size, it more than made up for with charisma and a zingy 660cc turbocharged 3-cylinder engine with 64 horsepower and 63 pounds-foot of torque. It would easily rev all the way to its fuel cutoff point at 9,300 RPM and featured a 50-50 weight distribution for agile handling. Honda S600, 9,500 RPM. The predecessor of the S2000 boasted an even higher 9,500 RPM fuel cutoff point. Not bad for the 60s. JDM Mazda RX8 Type S, 9,500 RPM. Wankel engines are known to be rev-happy, but some versions of the RX8 are taking things to another level. With the rotary in the JDM spec RX8 Type S topping out at 9,500 revolutions per minute, it makes these cars the cheapest ticket to well over 9,000 RPM territory. Lexus LFA, 9,500 RPM. With arguably the best sounding engine ever made, the 4.8-litre, 202-mile-an-hour Lexus LFA was the highest revving V10 car sold between 2010 and 2012. The astonishing 9,500 RPM rev limit was made possible thanks to using forged aluminium pistons, forged titanium connecting rods, and solid titanium valves. A cool anecdote about the LFA's V10 is its ability to rev from 0 RPM to its red line in 0.6 seconds, which was actually too fast for an analog tachometer to keep up with. That's why the LFA features a digital display instead. Alfa Romeo 33 Stradale, 10,000 RPM. One of the world's prettiest cars ever made is also one of the world's highest revving. The 33 Stradale was powered by a 2-litre double overhead cam V8 that produced 230 horsepower and 150 pounds-foot of torque, giving the race car for the road a top speed of 160 miles an hour. Only 18 examples were built between 1967 and 1969, and today's market value is believed to be well over $10 million. Ariel Atom V8 500, 10,600 RPM. The love child of two Suzuki Hayabusa engines paired with the 550 kilogram weight of the Ariel Atom resulted in something truly terrifying. The rev-happy V8 will produce peak torque at 7,750 RPM and won't stop revving until it hits the limiter at 10,600 RPM. What other production cars have high revving engines? Let us know in the comments below, and remember to give this video a voluptuous thumbs up. Oh yeah. We're at the start line.